Okay, we are in the 7th and final video of our series of creating a new process app. I am now in the user workspace, and as you can see, I have logged in as Joe Manager, who has the manager role for our new process app. Over here on the left hand side, we can see there's a list of default process apps that are already set for his profile. We don't see our new process app, so I'm going to click the More button. This drops down a menu of all the available process apps that Joe has access to. We're going to scroll down until we find our new process app, and we find it located here. As this is Joe's default dashboard, we don't see the process app right away, but we are in it because we can see it here in the tab up here at the top. We are going to look down here on the bottom left hand side, and we're going to click on this button to submit a new item to our My App process app. This is the submit form for our process app. We're going to choose an item type, and when we click on the drop down menu, we can see that there is bug or enhancement, the ones that we entered in Composer. For this demonstration purpose, I'm going to choose enhancement. The item ID will automatically be filled in after we've submitted the form. We can see that title is highlighted in red. This means it is a required field. So we're going to type in a title for our item. I'm going to call this Test 5. Also, Manager is highlighted in red, which also means this is a required field as well. I am going to drop down the menu, and you can see I have two managers listed. For this particular case, I'm going to choose Joe Manager. And normally you would want to assign many users for this drop down menu, but for this test purpose we only have Bill, so I will choose Bill. Because it is in black, it is not a required field, so I could leave it as none if I choose. In the customer submitted, we can see that the default no has been pre-selected for us. If we click on the drop down, we can choose yes. I will click the OK button to submit the form and move to our next state. We are in the next state, and that is called new, and we can see that here listed in the state change history. Here is the information we added, and here is the item ID that was selected for us. Because we chose enhancement, it has the prefix ENH at the beginning of the item ID number. Joe Manager has been selected. Customer submitted is still yes. User is still Bill Admin. If we choose the change history, we can see that Joe Manager submitted this item. We can click this little box here to view additional details about the submit, and that is shown here. We're going to go to the next transition by clicking the Assign button. We are now in the Assign transition. I can go ahead and make changes to these fields if I choose. I can change this now to a bug if I realize that's where it needs to be instead of enhancement. I could change the title if I choose. I can change who is the manager for this item. I can change this customer submitted to yes or no. I can change the user if I had other users listed, or I can change it back to none. We're not going to make any changes to this item, so I'm going to click OK to move into our assigned state, and we can see that here. Again, all information has stayed the same, and now we can see the assign transition was performed down here in the change history. And again, we can drop down the menu and see additional details about that transition. We're going to continue on, and we're going to move to the close transition. And again, I can change all these fields if I choose, or I can leave them as is. We are going to leave them the way they have already been selected, and we're going to click OK to move into the closed state. From here, we're now going to do a search for items, both for this item and other items that have already been entered for this process app. Down here on the bottom left, I'm going to choose this icon, which means to search. And here we have the search menu. I can search for only active items, I can search for only inactive items, or I can search for both. I'm going to leave that as the default both. We can choose to look in other sub-projects if they were available to us. We can also search by keywords if we want to look for specific items. I'm going to leave this all as default because we want to see all items that have been submitted. And as you can see, here is the list of items that are associated with this process app. 3 of which are set as inactive, which means they have completed and gone all the way to the closed state. Here we have 1 item that is still active, and if we click on it, we can see where it is in the workflow, and we can see that it's still in the new state. It has not gone further. We can transition it through the other transitions and states and close it as we did others, or we can leave it the same. This concludes our video series of creating a new process app. I hope you found this helpful, and it will be posted to our KBTV series on serenacentral.com. Thank you very much.